Welcome back to another episode of the Beardy Beer Bro Show. On today's episode, we shall be taking a look at even more hidden gems on the Game Boy Advance. If you haven't checked out our first episode, be sure to do that now. If you're a subscriber, please hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, you know what to do. Let's get to it. The best way to sum up Go-Go Beckham is just to say the game is basically Yoshi's Island if you swapped Yoshi's eggs for a football and Yoshi himself for England's golden boy footballer, David Beckham. This concept shouldn't work, but this football or soccer infused platformer is simple and charming and a whole lot of fun that takes everything you love about platformers, like collectible hunting and great world design and puzzles, and wraps it up in some silly physics-based ball-kicking good times. The game really is pretty inventive for its implementation of the football itself, which is little Beckham's weapon of choice for taking down enemies, collecting items, and clearing obstacles. I gotta say, hoofing the different balls with their different power-ups is endlessly fun, and lets you get quite creative with how to use each one to progress. On paper the game does look simple enough, but it also has an underlying amount of skill to the way it plays, with many new abilities to be unlocked along the way, and a ton of varied themed balls to master. The enemies are nicely designed too, with the bosses being a standout that will really test if you can bend it like Beckham. But overall, the game isn't too challenging, it's just simple fun done right. The gameplay accompanies the goofy theme and story of the game perfectly, as you must save Soccer Island and its football-obsessed inhabitants from the monsters that have taken over. The game looks and sounds great too, and its world is simply charming. If you're a big fan of platformers, especially Yoshi's Island, I recommend you go check this one out. Prince of Persia series has been long dead and forgotten by Ubisoft, but the franchise is still beloved by many, mostly for the console versions, but hidden away and overlooked was the handheld companion to its big brother, the Sands of Time. And I gotta say, this game is an exceptional little gem for the GBA that basically takes all the best features of the franchise and compacts them onto one tiny cart. The thing that will stand out when you boot this game up is just how beautiful the game looks. Not only does it boast awesome sprite work and smooth animations, but somehow the developers managed to shrink down the beautiful Persian world, levels, and smartly designed enemies in all their gritty sandy glory on the tiny little system. The gameplay is also top notch and feels like the perfect blend of old 2D Prince of Persia games mixed together with the spectacle, depth, and innovation that made the modern incarnations such a hit. The whole package is made up of everything you would expect from the franchise: smartly designed traps, puzzles, challenging enemies, huge open levels, and lots of awesome time manipulation. The combat may be a little bit lacking, but when everything else feels and looks this good, it's hard not to fall in love with this game. Another dead franchise that had an incredible port on the GBA is the Turok series, but unlike its console brethren, Turok Evolution is its completely own beast, as the game is not a first-person shooter. Instead, the developers made Turok Evolution on the GBA a 2D run-and-gun shooter in the vein of the Metal Slug or Contra series, and just like the Metal Slug games, this game is blisteringly fast, insanely brutal, and pixel-perfectly beautiful. The game is nowhere near as polished as the series it imitates, but is still an explosive dinosaur blasting bloody good time. And when playing it, you really do feel the developers put a ton of love into it, as the game is not only a blast to play, letting you carry a huge and varied arsenal of guns at once, letting you decimate your foes your way, its visuals are also meticulously crafted, and thanks to the awesome colour palette, really do pop out of the screen too. Another bonus is the game is pretty lengthy and split into quite a few chapters, but I will warn you that as much fun as this game is, it's really challenging, with strong foes, fast dinosaurs, and respawning enemies that will truly test your skill. But where's the fun if a game like this isn't challenging? But if you need a helping hand, the entire game can be played in co-op too. I recently included Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee on my GameCube Hidden Gems list, and stated while it's a little rough and janky at times, it's still an unapologetically dumb fun game, especially with some friends involved. Well, its GBA companion is big dumb fun too, but without the janky roughness, and instead is an absolutely gorgeous, insanely enjoyable, monster smashing good time, that just like its console counterpart, is fully playable with 4 players. While the cast could be bigger, the game features 6 playable kaiju, each with their own special movesets, animations, and their own endings, and really do feel like each have had a ton of care into making them their very own beasts. The game also features a ton of varied stages to kick, smash, and blast your way through, with bonus levels thrown in, and even some screen-filling bosses. The team at WayForward have proven once again that if given the right license, they are the kings of the hidden gem, as this game oozes love and appreciation for the source material, from the kaiju's basic and special movesets down to the news report cutscenes that flesh out the story. It's all executed perfectly here. The game is absolutely gorgeous too, and the kaiju are rich in detail and bursting with colour. Tossing your mates around these destructive environments is endlessly enjoyable and never gets old. Being the old fart that I am, I love top-down shooters. They bring back amazing memories for me, like completing Total Carnage with me old man on the SNES. So it's no surprise that I'm a huge fan of this game that plays extremely similar. Medal of Honor, Infiltrator pretty much excels at everything it does on the system, somehow managing to take its console counterpart franchise and shrink it down into an extremely immersive top-down shooter. The game's art style may deceive you though, as its sprite work and shrunken down soldiers make the game look kinda cute and cartoonish, but the game really does take its subject matter seriously and tries its best to immerse you into the hopelessness that is a world war. Everything from the beach landings to infiltrating enemy bases is here, and the tight controls make it all feel great to play. Occasionally the gameplay deviates from being a top-down shooter to the shooter gallery segments that see you mowing down dozens of enemy soldiers in awesome first-person set pieces that are an absolute blast to play too. And if you're big into history, the whole experience is glued together by these amazing video clips between levels showing real footage of the war. I'm a huge fan of Dragon Ball, so much so that I even have the Prince of the Saiyans permanently inked into my skin. But even if you're not a fan of the popular anime, I still suggest you check out Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure, as this game really does have some of the most in-depth fighting mechanics and fleshed out controls on the system, using every button on the little handheld to their fullest. This in turn translates beautifully in game, as the gameplay constantly shifts from 2D side-scroll and beat-em-up goodness, which is basically the core of its gameplay, but then for the game's bosses, it plays like a fully fledged 2D fighter, like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, with air juggling, counters, and combos all at your disposal. The constant mix of gameplay styles keeps the game feeling fresh and never getting too tedious too. But I must say the game is also bursting with content that will put most GBA games to shame. It features a ton to collect that will in turn improve your stats and even unlock mini games and extra characters for you to replay through levels with, making the replayability factor absolutely huge, which is not something you can normally say for GBA games. Another standout is the visuals. The sprites and animations look like they were ripped straight out of the show. The detail and colour here truly stand out and complement the robust gameplay throughout to make this a must play on the system. Right, that's only a small amount of gems that can be discovered for the Game Boy Advance. There are tons more I want to talk about, but we'll save that for another video. Do you have any favourites you would like me to check out? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you've smashed that like button, and if you're new, please hit that subscribe button. And until next time, you guys stay tipsy.